love tier list. We all do. As a content creator, it's some of the easiest forms of content in the world, and as a consumer, I love watching people's opinions and comparing them to my own. But if there's one thing I've learned about tier lists is people take them very fucking seriously. Even if it's a joke tier list, people go absolutely feral if your opinion on how good or bad something is not exactly where they want it to be. It's one of the reasons I stopped doing a killer tier list for every patch like I had originally intended to do. For example, I made a tier list of over 1,500 games on this very channel, and in that tier list I said I didn't really enjoy Elden Ring, and people's responses was to immediately hurl slurs and death threats at me, with one person calling me a lonely virgin whose butt hurt Elden Ring won Game of the Year, because I said I didn't like it. Do you understand how insane that is? In fact, on this very channel, I swore off doing any DBD power level tier list ever again, simply because of the amount of slurs, death threats, and more that I received. So I'm already going into this video a tad weary of even broaching the subject of tier lists as a whole, much less DBD tier lists. The DBD community tends to be especially volatile when discussing power levels of anything, not just in the you made something weaker or stronger than I agree with sense, but the whole DBD is a party game side of the community really gets pissed when you talk about DBD in even the slightest, quote, competitive light. But let's talk about why I think DBD killer tier lists might just be useless. So killer power levels are probably one of the most debated about and most agreed upon things in the DBD community. The worst of the worst, Freddy, Myers, and Trapper, are pretty much universally agreed upon, while the best of the best, Nurse and Blight, share a similar agreed upon placement. Past that, there is massive debates about how high up, not just in tiers, but within tiers themselves, killers tend to be. Entire collegiate level essays and 9-hour videos being made to justify the opinions of people within the community. And I know someone is going to ask, so here's my current tier list as of the Houndmaster PTB patch. Keep in mind, this is before the changes go live, so by the time you see this video, this list might have very well changed. And that leads me to my first problem. The power levels shift a lot. And I do mean a lot. Small minor changes can have incredibly huge domino effects on killer powers. And the reason for that is, how do you even judge a killer's power level? This is the second issue, because how a killer's power level is judged vastly is different from person to person. For my own personal list, I look at the following factors in this order. What kind of killer are they? Stealth, chase, anti-loop, etc, etc. How reliably can they get downs at a base level? How perk, add-on, and map reliant are they? But some people don't look at reliancy, instead using perks and add-ons to judge the power level of killers. Some people value things like exposed and stealth more than other people do. I can spend hours breaking down why I think a killer is weak, only for someone to tell me my reasoning doesn't make sense to them, because they judge power level based off different criteria, and both of us are equally valid in those assertions. For the most part. I do think there has to be some base level of objectivity. For example, if a killer's ability to down is too much left up to chance, then obviously that's not a very good killer, or if the power is far too unreliable, but for the in-between bits, it's all left up to opinion. My next issue comes from good old-fashioned human bias. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't have some sort of bias. Every human on the planet has bias, and it infuriates me when people act as if they don't. Now, there has to be some form of objectivity when discussing things, and outside of meaningless shit like your favorite flavor of ice cream, I think when discussing things as facts, you should always have more objectivity than bias. But to pretend like no bias exists within your discussions is just dishonest. Your personal experiences are going to 100% play a part in your opinions on where killers go in tier lists. Recently, I did a video on which killers I think needed buffs, reworks, nerfs, and more. And in it, I said that Ghostface needs a rework because the reveal mechanic is stupid, and mentioned offhandedly that I think Ghostface is D tier. One of the comments on that video was kind of upset, saying that they hate when people say Ghostface is D tier, and to just watch a list of Ghostface mains to see how wrong I am. And while I take a small bit of offense to the implication that I made an assertion about a killer's power level without doing research about the killer, like, you know, watching mains to see how they play the game, I also don't harbor any hate or ill will to that commenter, as they are simply voicing their opinion about the video game the same way I am. You see, people tend to either overblow their main strengths or vastly undersell it. It's very rare someone mains a character and is 100% accurate in that killer's power level, because their experience with playing the killer and constantly will shape a far different version than those of us who don't. My final problem is that there just simply are too many variables, match to match, in order to correctly identify power levels with 100% accuracy. Taking out killer perks and add-ons for just a moment, and even removing maps from the equation, the inherent randomness of 4 survivors who can have a near endless combination of perks, skill levels, knowledge, and more, combine that with the randomness of gen layouts and loop spawns, makes determining killer power that much harder. In nearly every other game on the planet, determining power levels is honestly not that hard. All it requires is knowledge and experience, and you can safely be able to make a tier list of power levels that 99% of people will agree with. But there's just so many variables in DBD as a whole that outside of the bottom 3 and top 2, the disagreements where the rest of the cast goes is so vast and different that all in all, killer tier lists might just be useless. Or maybe I'm talking out of my ass and I don't know. Tune in next week for a tier list on how excited I'd be to receive killer feet pics. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please let me know what you think down below. And a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. You want to find out how to become a channel member today and get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Need more Kaiser in your life? Well, I've got you covered. Check out my second channel, The Kaiser Extras, where I upload full gameplays, stream compilations, me reacting to your Dead by Daylight clips, and more. We also upload a daily short with all the greatest clips from stream. We'll see you over there. Link is in the description.